All right, so as we start the next chapter, Chapter 6, Learning, Cognition, and Memory, this is a huge chapter filled with lots of good information, and as promised, I'm going to cut back on the amount of information and try to give you the highlights, but I would strongly recommend you read the chapter and get all you can out of this chapter. If you don't know how to help students learn, and it's more than you just dispensing knowledge, it goes far deeper than that. And so to really understand that, it takes understanding how the memory works, what learning actually is, and all the components that go in with it. So for our discussion, we're going to define learning as a long-term change in mental representations or association as a result of an experience. So anything that you know how to do right now would be because of that experience, some type of an experience that you had sometime in your life. You don't just get in a car and start driving it. You know how to do it. As Sarah thought it would be so easy. She couldn't wait to get behind the wheel, but then when she drove for the first time, she realized it's not as easy as what it appears. Every experience leads to some type of learning not to do something, or learning how to do something better, or learning how to do something in general. Just the three parts of the definition. First, learning is a long-term change. That is, it's more than just a brief transitory use of information. It doesn't necessarily last forever. If it did, we wouldn't get caught speeding twice. And you know what that means. Secondly, learning involves mental representation or associations, internal entities, and interconnections that save the new knowledge and skills acquired. And the third part of the definition is learning is a change. It's a change as a result of an experience rather than a result of physiological maturation, fatigue, use of alcohol or drugs, or the onset of mental illness. Really, in the early 1900s, many psychologists began to focus on two things that can be observed and objectively measured: environmental events or stimuli, and people's behaviors or responses to those stimuli, and then to look at the cause and effect relationship between the two. That particular perspective of learning is known as behaviorism. And behaviorism focuses on that external behavior changes. We're going to talk more about that. In the 1960s, many learning theorists were beginning to realize that they could not completely understand learning unless they considered thought as well as behavior. They decided it's a mixture of both. The perspective that emerged from that is cognitive psychology, and it addresses a variety of mental phenomena, memory, reasoning, misconceptions. Those things fall into that, and that's exactly what this whole chapter is about, and we're going to learn a lot, I hope. Cognitive psychologists propose that by observing people's responses to various stimuli, it is possible to draw inferences, that is, educated guesses about the internal mental events that probably underline the responses. So we're going to find out how that certain answers or certain behaviors you can pick up from your students can help you be a better teacher. Another reason that we should look at our students is not just numbers or a job security, but look at them and really begin to know who they are and what makes them function. There is an example of learning in a new way. I've entitled it a YouTube video. There's also a cute little rap that a teacher does in a math class. It's absolutely hilarious. The things we do to get our students' attention, but whatever it takes, we should be willing to do. Enjoy.